Hey, this is Gavin Palmer with Wright and Gavin Palmer, and this is the good news. The good news is that there are people among us who are able to discern the voice of God. The good news is that there are people among us who are very righteous. So the good news is that we can get better at loving God and loving our neighbor, loving people. And the good news is that we can find people who can discern the voice of God and people who are righteous, and we can lift them up and we can say, hey, will you be our leader? We can, for example, do lie detector tests and follow people who pass these tests. So there's lie detector tests to find out if you broke 4 of the 7 no-hide laws, like murder, theft, sexual immorality, and torturing animals. You can use lie detector tests to check if your candidate did any of those 4 things. So anyone who wants power could be tested. So whether it's the people who are watching your children, or the people you're electing into positions of power in government at all levels, or people who are your coaches, your teachers, the heads of your organization. And you want to find these trustworthy, righteous people who are able to discern the voice of God, who love God and love people, because corruption, the source of corruption, is an indicator of corruption within a body is when the head is disconnected from the body, whether that's you as an individual in your own health. If I drop a stone on my toe and I ignore it, it can get infected and I can die. The whole body can die. And so likewise, every body, including me as the head of the house, or the head of a team as a coach, or the head of a classroom, or the head of a government, or a company, or a church, these heads need to practice loving people and getting better at doing it so that the amount of corruption decreases. And an indicator is, are you aware of the body? Are you able to receive feedback from the body? And so you should be able to go to people that are a part of the body. You as the head should be able to go to people and say, hey, what's the biggest problem you face personally? And what's the biggest problem that the people you care about are facing? And so I demonstrated that in my last video by creating a Google form. I'll share a link to it below. It basically asks you these questions. And, this is the good news. The good news, is, I'll say Jesus told me that I have eyes to see the good and that I should encourage others to be able to see the good. And so I'm sharing the good news, and I'm encouraging you to become someone. I'm recruiting you to go and share the good news as well. And so do it. The good news is that we can actually reduce the corruption within ourselves and within the bodies which we are a part of. And it is not, it's just all good. Like, tell me how it's bad to go and become someone who is like this and spreads this news. And I know you're like me, you have sinned. There are people who have sinned less than me. And so we all, make mistakes, but we can be aware of the fact that there are people that are better than us, who have strengths that we don't have, and we can try to lift those people up. And if we do that, so if you could imagine the church, for example, recruiting good, righteous people and getting them to do lie detection tests, lifting them up, and the church surrounding those people and saying, we want to vote for you, and we won't vote for anyone else unless they go through the tests, I think that'll change the world. We can lead by example. We can find the righteous people. We can get them to take the lie detector test. We can ask them about the 4 laws which we should all be obeying. And, if you're a religious person, you might do 7 about loving God, for example, and avoiding blasphemy. But I would say the 4 as a minimum. And it would be good if they understand the concept of justice, which is what I'm talking about here, is the nature of corruption and the indicator of corruption. So this is the good news. And I'm recruiting you to share the good news. Let me know what you think. It's really easy to share the good news on the internet. You just hit like, hit subscribe, click that share button, and go share it. But make sure you talk to other people about it. If you don't think this is the good news, please explain why it's not good news. Thank you.